12 things that make you catabolize and lose muscle mass. When we talk about gaining muscle mass, most people tend to think that just exercising every day is enough. But did you know that certain habits could actually be sabotaging your gains without you even realizing it? If you train for an hour a day, 5 days a week, that means that at the end of a year, you will have spent an incredible 240 hours in the gym. It's quite frustrating to imagine all those hours of effort going to waste because you've made small daily mistakes that can easily be corrected. That's why today we're going to explain exactly 12 common habits among most people that cause catabolism and loss of muscle mass. Stay tuned until the end because I'm sure you don't know how common number 7 is. Number 1. Prolonged calorie deficit. A calorie deficit usually occurs when a person wants to lose fat and chooses to consume fewer calories than the body needs for its daily functions and physical activities. However, the main mistake is to prolong this process too long. When the body doesn't get enough energy from food, it looks for other internal energy sources to make up for the shortfall. Initially, the body can use glycogen reserves stored in the muscles and liver. When these reserves are depleted, the body begins to use stored fat for energy. If the calorie deficit is prolonged and energy needs are still not met, the body begins to break down muscle proteins. This process results in a loss of muscle mass, which can lead to a decrease in strength and physical performance. In addition, the loss of muscle mass can reduce basal metabolism, as muscle mass is metabolically active and its loss can decrease the amount of calories the body burns at rest. Prolonged muscle catabolization also increases the risk of injury and decreases the ability to recover after exercise. Number 2. Ignoring post-workout rest. During exercise, especially strength training and intense activities, microlesions occur in the muscle fibers. The rest period is crucial for the body to repair these injuries and strengthen the muscles, a process known as hypertrophy. Without adequate rest, these microlesions can accumulate, resulting in a constant state of muscle damage without the opportunity for repair and growth. Muscle protein synthesis, which is the process by which muscles repair and build new fibers after exercise, also depends on post-workout rest. Skipping rest prevents the body from entering an anabolic state, where protein synthesis outstrips degradation, resulting in a net loss of muscle mass. Lack of rest leads to muscular and systemic fatigue, reducing the ability to perform in subsequent workouts. Training with fatigued muscles increases the risk of injury and can promote further catabolism due to overexertion in already damaged muscles. In addition, intense exercise without adequate rest can weaken the immune system. A compromised immune system cannot respond efficiently to muscle microinjuries and inflammation, further delaying recovery and increasing the risk of catabolization. Number 3. Nutritional deficiencies. A lack of essential nutrients compromises the processes necessary for muscle maintenance, repair, and growth. Proper nutrition is key to providing the body with the raw materials it needs to build and repair tissues, including muscles. When there are nutritional deficiencies, these processes are impaired, leading to muscle degradation. For example, an individual with a diet low in protein and deficient in essential vitamins and minerals can experience a significant decrease in muscle mass over time. Without enough protein, the body cannot repair and build muscle properly. If carbohydrate intake is insufficient, the body can start to use muscle proteins for energy, accelerating muscle loss as we explained in Item 1. Deficiencies in vitamin D and calcium can lead to weaker muscles and increased risk of injury, which can further reduce muscle mass due to forced inactivity. Number 4. Excessive stress. Chronic stress, characterized by prolonged high levels of the stress hormone cortisol, can have significant impacts on the body, including muscle degradation. When the body is under stress, whether physical or emotional, there is an increased release of cortisol, which plays a key role in regulating metabolism and the stress response. Cortisol is catabolic, which means that it promotes the breakdown of proteins, including muscle proteins, to provide the body with energy during periods of prolonged stress. This process is part of the body's fight-or-flight mechanism, designed to provide quick energy in emergency situations. However, when stress is chronic and cortisol levels remain high for long periods, this can lead to a continuous breakdown of muscle tissue. In addition, chronic stress can negatively affect other aspects that influence muscle health. For example, it can interfere with sleep quality, leading to sleep deprivation, which in turn impairs muscle recovery. Chronic stress can also negatively affect appetite and eating patterns. Some people tend to eat more or less than usual when they are stressed, which can lead to imbalances in the intake of essential nutrients for muscle health. Number 5. Low protein intake. Muscle building depends fundamentally on proteins, which serve as the essential structural elements. Disregarding their importance is like trying to build a house without bricks. A deficient protein intake not only compromises muscle development, but can also result in catabolism, where the body resorts to its own muscle mass as a source of energy. Make sure your diet contains an adequate amount of quality proteins, such as lean meats, fish, eggs, dairy products, and legumes. If you find it difficult to reach your daily quota, consider including protein shakes in your routine. It's crucial to remember that without the right amount of protein, muscles won't be able to reach their maximum growth potential. Remember that the ideal amount of protein is around 2 grams per kilo of body weight per day. So if you're an 80-kilo man, your ideal intake would be around 160 grams of protein a day. Remember that a normal-sized egg usually has 6 to 8 grams, and 100 grams of chicken breast usually has 25 grams of protein. That's why weighing your food is essential. Number 6. Overtraining. During weight training, especially with heavy loads and high volume, micro-injuries occur in the muscle fibers. These injuries are normal and are part of the muscle growth process, as the body repairs these injuries by making the muscles stronger and bigger. However, when muscles are subjected to intense and frequent training without adequate time for recovery, these micro-lesions accumulate and don't have time to be repaired. This leads to chronic muscle fatigue, which can result in muscles being unable to fully recover between training sessions. This is why overtraining not only hinders your gains, but can also lead to catabolism. It's like running a marathon without stopping. You'll end up collapsing. Balance your workouts with adequate rest. Diversify your routine. Combine strength and flexibility exercises, and listen to your body. Constant pain and fatigue are warning signs. Remember, quality over quantity. Train hard and consistently, but also intelligently and in moderation to combat catabolism. Number 7. Dehydration. Lack of adequate hydration can contribute to catabolization and loss of muscle mass due to the vital roles that water plays in the body. Water is essential for virtually all physiological functions, including regulating body temperature, transporting nutrients, and removing metabolic waste. During exercise, especially intense activity, the body loses water through sweat to maintain body temperature. If fluids are not adequately replenished, dehydration can occur, which can negatively affect muscle function. Dehydration can lead to faster muscle fatigue, decreased strength and endurance, and increased risk of injury. In addition, water plays an important role in muscle protein synthesis. Adequate hydration helps maintain cellular function and the regulation of metabolic processes, including protein synthesis. A lack of water can interfere with these processes, hindering the body's ability to repair and build muscle tissue. For example, an athlete who doesn't stay properly hydrated during exercise can experience a decrease in physical performance and muscle recovery capacity. Dehydration can lead to faster fatigue during exercise, which can impair training and potentially lead to loss of muscle mass over time. To know the ideal amount of water you should consume daily, try to base yourself on 30 to 50 milliliters per kilo. So using the same example as for proteins, if you weigh 80 kilos, the ideal is to drink 2 to 4 liters of water a day. Number 8. Poor nutrition. Our diet has a direct impact on muscle development, and this couldn't be more obvious. Trying to grow muscle with an inadequate diet is like trying to drive a car without fuel. Proteins, carbohydrates, healthy fats, and micronutrients are the foundations of strong muscles. If you neglect any of these nutrients, you'll be hindering your progress. While protein is vital, carbohydrates and healthy fats also play crucial roles, providing energy and aiding muscle recovery. In addition, hydration is fundamental. A balanced diet is your secret ally against catabolism. Number 9. Excessive alcohol consumption. This topic complements numbers 5 and 7. Know that there's no point in consuming the right amount of protein if you're always poisoning your body with alcohol. Alcohol directly interferes with muscle protein synthesis, a crucial process for the repair and growth of muscle fibers after exercise. In addition, alcohol negatively affects muscle recovery and contributes to dehydration, both critical factors in maintaining muscle health. When alcohol is ingested in large quantities, it can inhibit protein synthesis by altering the signaling of important anabolic pathways. In addition, alcohol increases the production of cortisol, which, as we've already explained, promotes the breakdown of muscle proteins. It can also affect the quality of sleep, which is a critical period for muscle recovery, and reduce the secretion of growth hormones during the night. These hormones are important for repairing muscle tissue damaged by exercise. In addition, alcohol has a diuretic effect, which increases the loss of body fluids, leading to dehydration. Dehydration negatively affects the transportation of nutrients and the removal of metabolic waste from muscle cells, which can further delay muscle recovery and increase the risk of injury. A study conducted by the Journal of Applied Physiology investigated the effects of alcohol consumption after resistance exercise and found that alcohol significantly reduces post-exercise muscle protein synthesis, impairing muscle recovery and adaptation. Number 10. Lack of adequate sleep. During sleep, especially in the deep sleep phases, essential processes take place for the repair of muscle tissue damaged by exercise. Important hormones such as growth hormone, GH, and testosterone are released in greater quantities during sleep, promoting protein synthesis and muscle regeneration. When sleep is inadequate, the release of these anabolic hormones is reduced, compromising the body's ability to repair and build new muscle tissue. Lack of sleep also negatively affects insulin sensitivity, which can make it difficult for muscle cells to absorb nutrients. This reduces the efficiency of protein synthesis and the replenishment of muscle glycogen, both of which are crucial for recovery and physical performance. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that sleep deprivation can reduce protein synthesis and increase muscle protein breakdown. The study showed that sleep-deprived participants exhibited a reduction in muscle protein synthesis and higher cortisol levels compared to those who had adequate sleep. These findings indicate that sleep deprivation can seriously compromise muscle recovery and growth. Number 11. Too much aerobic exercise. Although aerobic exercise is essential for cardiovascular health and weight control, an imbalance between energy demand and nutrient availability can lead to loss of muscle mass. During prolonged and intense aerobic activities, such as long-distance running or endurance cycling, the body requires a significant amount of energy. If there isn't an adequate intake of nutrients, especially carbohydrates, the body can start to draw on muscle protein reserves for additional energy. This process, known as muscle catabolism, can lead to loss of muscle mass over time. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology investigated the effects of long-term aerobic training on muscle protein synthesis. The results showed that prolonged aerobic exercise can increase the rate of muscle protein breakdown in individuals with low carbohydrate intake. Number 12. Aging and sarcopenia. With aging, there is a natural loss of muscle mass called sarcopenia, which begins after the age of 30 and accelerates after the age of 60. This condition reduces muscle strength and functionality, increasing the risk of falls and mobility-related complications. Sarcopenia results from a decrease in protein synthesis, lower levels of anabolic hormones, reduced physical activity, and neuromuscular changes, such as the loss of motor units. To prevent and treat sarcopenia, it is essential to maintain a protein-rich diet, practice resistance exercise regularly, and manage hormone levels. These interventions help to mitigate muscle loss, improving functionality and quality of life for the elderly. That's why we recommend that you watch the video that's now appearing on your screen, where we talk about the best exercises you need to do after the age of 40.